Sahinavavatu Sahinau Bhunaktu Sahviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Vedantanam Sheshanam Adim Dhyavasanatah Brahmatmanyeva Tatparyamiti Dhiha Shravanam Bhavet. Providing conclusive essence of truth through the Shaḍlingaroopa yukti, the 6 signs of Vedantic symbolism, the beginning, mid and end of the Upanishads, which present the synopsis of the entire Vedanta, reveal the same truth of the unity of Brahm and Atman. This intellectual conviction is derived through Shravana, and this is the importance of Shravana stated in the Vedic scriptures as well. Now, as per Vedanta, the only subject to be established is Atma-Brahma unity. Then, what can be called Vedanta? Now, these days, and many times, even in past also, because Vedanta is the highest of the all philosophies, many people like to use this word Vedanta in their preachings or their mission works, or calling their organizations as the Vedanta works. They call themselves Advaita Vedanta Siddhanti, but end of the day they are actually ending up worshipping the Guru's body only. True, we do believe that Guru's worship is important, but it's not the ritualistic worship. It's not that Guru has some contract to give you the liberation. It is not like a licensed vendor who is doing the job. But that's why they say the Shaḍlingaroopa yukti, the whatever is being taught should be as per those 6 parameters which will decide whether this spoken lecture can be called Vedanta or not. Just by saying once or twice here and there, Aham Brahmasmi or Soham, that's like fooling in name of Vedanta. Vedanta subject should be addressed, should be tackled with the Shaḍlinga of Vedantic symbolism. And without that, it is not fair to call it the Vedantanam Sheshanam Adi Madhya Vasanatah. Adi Madhya, Adi is in the beginning, Madhya is the middle, Vasanatah is established in beginning, in the mid, and obviously in the end. Brahm Atmanyeva Tatparyamiti. The subject is to establish the unity of Brahm and Atma. Dhiha Shravanam Bhavet. So the intellect is listening to this subject. Now Vedanta is present in the Vedas, but basically in, say, like Samveda. So somewhere in the beginning you will find, then somewhere in the mid, then maybe somewhere in the end. But there are other portions which might not be dealing with this subject. Like Yajurveda, same. In last part, sometime in the beginning, somewhere in the middle. But it's not addressing all, because Yajurveda is also talking about how to do the ritualistic worships and yajna, and how the parameters are set for doing certain rituals. Then Atharvaveda is talking about many subjects. It's not just the Brahma Atmaikya unity. So even when we say about Veda, we do respect the Veda as such, because there is a big portion which is for beginners. There is another portion which is talking about how to do the devotion. But in Vedanta, precisely, it is about that portion of Veda where the Brahma Chaitanya unity is established. That will be called Vedanta. So, like me, if you ask me what are the perfect rules of performing yajna, I don't know it, because in this life, I would say, have never been into that ritual part. So never went into that. There is a saying that why go in that lane in which there is no business. So no business, never gone there. Whenever I feel like conducting any yajna, which we did here few times, then either I'll call somebody who is a scholar in it, or there were some occasions where, well, that doesn't, when I say I don't know, doesn't mean that I don't know really, but but wherever required, we will call somebody to conduct it in a very strict manner. But somewhere where it is just the heck of it, if I want to do it, then I'll do it. That's not a big thing. But my always sole objective had been the Vedanta alone. Right? So, right from age of 11, I have been listening to Vedanta. At age 11, I still have those handwritten diaries and copies in my personal library, where I used to scribble it, what I heard, what I understood. So it's like personal diaries which I have maintained. And somehow I store that nicely. I still have it. So the Tatparya is the meaning, the objective, the agenda is just Vedanta. So in the Vedic scriptures, a person who is seeking liberation, the person who is interested to know about the truth of self, they need to listen, Shravana. What? Vedanta. And Vedanta means it's 6. What are those 6? Here it comes. Upakrama-Upasamhāra, Abhyāso, Apoorvatā, Phalam, Arthavāda, Upapatti, Ch-16, Tatparya, Nirnaya. The 6 signs of Vedantic symbolism are Upakrama-Upasamhāra-ekroopatā, unity of the subject matter in the beginning and end. Abhyāsa, repeated practice. Apoorvatā, uniqueness. Phala, fruit of gaining the knowledge. Arthavāda, eulogy. Upapatti, illustration. Now, what is Upakrama and Upasamhāra? Vastunaha pratipadyasya davinte pratipadanam upkramo upsamharo tadaikyam kathitaham buddhaihi. Each of the above mentioned signs will be elaborated through the following 6 verses. Exposition of the subject matter, which is the singular Brahm, has commencing section and concluding section known as Upakrama and Upasamhāra. So Upakrama is the beginning, and Upasamhāra, Sanghar means death. The Upasamhāra, it is now the death of the discourse, should happen from where it started. So in a way, I would say these are the perfect 6 good attributes of any good lecturer. I can conduct that. These days they have online master speaking classes. How to deliver my classes in lecture in public, how to address masses. I can give it very well because of the Vedantic understanding. So Upakrama, they'll be talking, look into eyes of your audience and keep on smiling, and some of them are jumping on the stage. I have seen a few. They are just jumping, and some of them are yelling, something is wrong. They go so crazy, they're jumping on the stage and moving from one corner to another as if they're rushed. So they're more about the physicality, the physical appearance, how you should address, how you should look, how you should speak clearly or with the right pauses, or create the drama and then give the real funda of, there are many people these days. I don't wish to generalize this, but this is the observation which I have had somehow. Maybe, unfortunately, I just dancing around. They're charging a lot of money, and many people are so filled with inferiority complexes. They think that There's a idiom, andho mein kana raja. So the squinted person is a king amongst the blind. It's like that. But this is giving you the perfect tools. Upakrama, you begin from a subject, Upsamhara, you end there only. You don't begin here, but you end somewhere else. So the 2 points have to be in sync with one another. The beginning section, which lays out the introduction of the subject matter and the objective of the text, is called Upakrama. Upakrama, now that you've started from a point and now you begin to move. Now this moving is a krama. Krama means in sequence. So your speech should be sequential. And the concluding section detailing the completion of the objective as laid out in the introduction is called Upsamhara. The exposition reveals the unity of the subject matter and its rationale described in these 2 sections. See, because I have been with such a great orator masters who was perfect in the job, and so I have learned some things. They are up in my sleeve. So it doesn't matter. I can just reveal it, and still you can't catch me. Like I say, if I have started at a point, and then I am giving a relevant, say a story, an example, then I might digress a little bit here, then I might go that way, then I might go that, then I'm giving related stories of that, then I'm talking about the scriptures which are talking about, then I might talk about the saint who, and then the biography of that saint comes in, and I'm telling you about how that saint was, how marvelous he was. Then maybe a disciple of that saint was so great, how he was or she was, and by the time, this had been very keen observation. He said, lost. And this just the last, 5 to 7 minutes, you bring back that same point where you started. And he said, how do you do that? Because we get just lost in that jungle of information which is coming here and there, and you are moving here and then the past, and suddenly the science is coming in. Sometimes history crawls in, and sometimes it's about some religion information is coming in, and you're just moving like this and this and this and this, and then we are lost. And then you say, okay, that was okay, now we get it. Now you have to join all those dots which I have said, and all those dots were basically the upakrama, the process to reach to that conclusive point. So the next comes Abhyāsa vastunaha pratipadasya pathanam cha punaha punaha abhyāsaha pro-uchyate pragyeh sa eva vritti shabda bhaka. The repeated study and persistent contemplation, punaha means again and again, of the midsection of the exposition is called Abhyāsa. Okay. Pro-uchyate, this is said, this is called Abhyāsa. By who? Pragyahi. Those who are very learned, they call it Sa eva vritti shabda bhak. So this modification of the mind, where this repeated reading is happening, it could be reading, could be contemplation, could be reflection, whatever, and on the one subject only. See, mind is same. If with your mind you think about million objects, that won't be called Abhyāsa. Somebody is lost in his thoughts and says, oh, I am doing Abhyāsa. That's not Abhyāsa. Abhyāsa is, the object is one only, thinking is one only, so you are creating the same thought in different spectrum of colors. Same one subject, same one thought, but in different spectrum of colors. That is called, again and again, when that is repeated, that is called Abhyāsa. Apoorvatā. Shruti bhinna pramanena vishyat apurvata kutrachit swaprakashatvam apyam eva taya uchyate. The subject of the exposition, which is singular absolute existence, Brahm, can be only known through Shruti, Vedas and Upanishads. Shruti state that it cannot be known through any other objective evidence like sensory perception or inference or comparison. This is the uniqueness. The self-illuminating nature of the Brahm too cannot be comprehended through any worldly means. Hence it is termed as its uniqueness or the Apoorvatā. If I say that I want to see, then the only medium is eyes. If I want to hear, then the only medium is ears. You can't say that I'll plug my ears with the wax and oil and then want to hear through eyes or mouth or nose. Well, that's not going to happen. Similarly, this subject of Brahma, Atma, unity can only be understood by Veda and Shruti alone. There is no other way. You can't just sit and comprehend on your own. How will you do that? Brahma is incomprehensible. Brahma is not an object that you can through your senses. See, this is the thing. That is why it is said that without the Guru you cannot understand this. You cannot. Because it's not an objective world that you can observe or feel. And your mind can only think about that which has been perceived by your five senses. That which has not been perceived by your five cognitive senses, your mind cannot think or imagine about that. See, even when somebody says about heaven or hell, whether it's Islam or Christianity or Hindus or Jains or Buddhists, when they talk about heavens, then whatever is good or best or nice here has been in a bigger magnitude placed there. It's just imagination. Those who went there never came back. Here, those people who are still alive, who haven't died, they are just kind of hypothetically creating ideas. So what is torturous here? If an ant bites you, it's torturous. So they say, okay, there the scorpions will bite you. Well, your human flesh body was burnt here. You don't go, if there it is, the hell, you don't have a physical body. And what is subtle body? You know it, I don't have to say it. So, ant is a physical body. Lizard or scorpion or snake is a physical body. If somebody burns you, it hurts in your skin. But death takes away your gross body. Subtle body is left. How will subtle body be bitten by a scorpion or snake or burnt or this or that? But again, you see, my people are not thinking properly. They're not thinking properly. So it is all, I would say, the imagination of human mind and observation of when anybody is in a dream state, is having a horrific dream, or if anybody is having a great, good, beautiful dream, the face and the body language is changing in the time of sleep. From there, the assumptions have been made. Point is to put a person on a straight, direct dharma path. This was important, this is important, hence it is talked about. It's not to scare you. So Vedanta, it doesn't talk about anything hypothetically or imaginatively. Up till now, whatever you have heard, is there any room or space for imagination? It's a sheer perceptible logic which you can apply. Now it doesn't matter what belief or faith you have. If you go into Vedanta, it won't be an obtrusive to you. It would be very, very inclusive. So the Brahm can be only known via Shruti and by the Guru. So if the Guru isn't there, you cannot understand Brahm by your sensory perception. You can't make any inference. You cannot compare. A-B compare can be done for the gross objects. For Brahm, how would you do A Brahm and B Brahm? A Atma and B Brahm. Oh nice, A Atma and B Brahm. And C is Kalpana, Sansar. So C is the Kalpana. So A, B, C. So what we need is, the uniqueness of Vedanta is established when the lecture or the discourse is happening. Phala. Shrayamanatu tajjnanat prapya sadi paryojanam phalam prakirtim tapragyer mukhyam mokshe kalakshanam. Moksha is the prime fruit of the knowledge of Brahm gained through listening to and comprehending Vedantic exposition given by self-realized masters. So what is the fruit of listening? So the phal, the fruit, phal, fruit, is phal, fruit. Yeah? The phal, fruit of this Vedanta discourse is established when it is said. So again and again when you listen, you come to know that if I understand this all, I'll know what Brahm is, that's the Phala. I'll know what Atma is, that's the Phala. I'll know about the unity of Brahm and Atma, that is. So the fruit, why the Phala should be spoken about? Because mind is very greedy. Mind isn't interested if it doesn't gain anything out of the stuff. So I speak anything, and the listener thinks, what is in it for me in this? The people are now these days learning astrology through our app, and now why are they learning it? Because they are actually wanting to know about what is in there for me. Because you are going to other astrologers, they might be making fool of you, and you want to know what's going to happen in my life. Then comes in my family member's life. So that is the priority. And then the third one comes in, I'll make money via astrology. Again, that is for the self-gratification. You want to earn money via astrology. So the Vedanta expositions are based on establishing the fact of what gains you will have, what will be the phala of this knowledge.